Have you ever met a woman who doesn't wear makeup and doesn't follow the latest fashion trends, yet somehow she has a presence that draws everyone in? Why is it that some people become more captivating as they age, while others seem to fade into the background? Where does true beauty really come from? Is it in the way we look, or is it something much deeper? The truth is, the most magnetic women aren't the ones chasing trends or validation. They're the ones who embrace their inner peace, confidence, and authenticity. They don't seek approval. They radiate a quiet, undeniable charm that makes people take notice. In today's video, we're diving into 3 powerful traits that make these women stand out. A rich inner world, the ability to protect their energy from unnecessary relationships, and a simple yet fulfilling way of life. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll see beauty in a whole new light. Do you ever notice how society keeps telling women what they should be? Be beautiful, be young, be sociable, be successful. It's exhausting, right? But here's the big question. Does any of that actually make us happy? The truth is, the most captivating women aren't the ones following the rule book. They're the ones who step away from the noise and start living life on their own terms. They don't need to prove anything to anyone. And yet, somehow, they are the ones people admire the most. They have an aura of peace, confidence, and wisdom. What's their secret? It comes down to 3 powerful qualities: a rich inner world, strong personal boundaries, and a life built on simplicity. Stick around, because this might just change the way you see yourself and the world around you. Let's talk about something real. Inner beauty. We've all heard the phrase before, but what does it actually mean? Is it just some feel-good concept, or is there something deeper behind it? The truth is, the most captivating women in the world aren't necessarily the ones with flawless skin, expensive clothes, or perfect hair. They're the ones who carry themselves with confidence, wisdom, and a quiet kind of strength that you just can't fake. It's not about how they look, it's about who they are. Have you ever met someone who just radiates calm, kindness, and intelligence? The kind of person who makes you feel safe, heard, and respected the moment you're around them? That's the power of inner beauty. It's something that goes beyond the surface and sticks with people long after the conversation is over. So how do you develop it? Well, it starts from within. It's about shifting the focus from the external to the internal. Instead of worrying about what others think, you start asking yourself, what do I think of me? One of the best examples of this is Grace Matthews. She was a writer, not a supermodel, not a celebrity, but her presence could light up an entire room. She rarely wore makeup, she didn't follow the latest trends, and yet, people were drawn to her. Why? Because she was completely comfortable with herself. She knew who she was and what she stood for, and she carried that confidence everywhere she went. Another incredible example is Alice Turner, a woman who lived to be 106 years old. She never tried to look younger or hide her age. She let her silver hair shine, she embraced every wrinkle, and she didn't waste time trying to be someone she wasn't. When people asked her why she never wore makeup, she simply said, "Makeup feels like a mask. It hides the real me. I want people to see me as I am, with all my years, experiences, and truths." That right there is powerful. Because true beauty isn't about covering up, it's about revealing who you really are. Now let's get real for a second. The world doesn't exactly make it easy for women to feel confident in their natural selves. We're bombarded with ads telling us to look younger, smoother, and slimmer. But what if we stopped listening to all of that? What if, instead of chasing an impossible standard, we decided to embrace ourselves exactly as we are? That's where real confidence comes in. And let me tell you, confidence is magnetic. Think about the most inspiring woman you know. Maybe it's your grandmother, your mom, a mentor, or even a historical figure. What made her stand out? Was it her fashion choices? Or was it the way she carried herself, the way she handled challenges, the wisdom she shared. That's real beauty. And here's the thing. Anyone can cultivate that kind of presence. It starts with shifting the focus inward, learning to embrace who you are, and letting go of the need for outside approval. So how do we get there? Let me share 3 simple, powerful habits that will help you build your inner beauty. 1. Learn to enjoy your own company. If you're constantly distracted by social media, other people's opinions, or external expectations, you never really get to know yourself. Take time to be alone, to reflect, to understand what truly makes you happy. 2. Practice gratitude and mindfulness. The happiest and most radiant women are the ones who focus on what they have rather than what they lack. They appreciate their journey, their growth, and even their struggles because they know it all adds to their wisdom. 3. Stop seeking validation from others. This is a big one. When you stop looking for approval and start living for yourself, you naturally become more attractive. You stop playing by other people's rules and start creating your own. The key takeaway here? The most beautiful women are the ones who aren't trying to be beautiful. They're just being themselves, unapologetically, wholeheartedly, and with so much confidence that it makes everyone around them stop and take notice. And guess what? You can do the same. The women who truly shine are the ones who invest in their minds, their hearts, and their purpose. It's not about having perfect skin or the right clothes. It's about the way you make people feel, the energy you bring into a room, and the kindness you show to yourself and others. So next time you look in the mirror, ask yourself, am I being the woman I want to be? Because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. The women who truly shine are the ones who invest in their minds, their hearts, and their purpose. It's not about having perfect skin or the right clothes. It's about the way you make people feel, the energy you bring into a room, and the kindness you show to yourself and others. So, next time you look in the mirror, ask yourself, am I being the woman I want to be? Because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. Who truly shine are the ones who invest in their minds, their hearts, and their purpose. It's not about having perfect skin or the right clothes. It's about the way you make people feel, the energy you bring into a room, and the kindness you show to yourself and others. So next time you look in the mirror, ask yourself, am I being the woman I want to be? Because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. Let's be honest. Some relationships drain us more than they lift us. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling completely exhausted, like all your energy just got sucked out of you? That's not an accident. The people we spend time with shape our emotions, our energy, and even our self-worth. So the question is, are you surrounding yourself with the right people? Now, I'm not saying you should cut everyone off and live in a cabin in the woods. Unless that's your dream, of course. But there's something incredibly powerful about choosing who gets access to your time and energy. Think of it like this. If your energy were money, would you spend it wisely, or would you let people take it without a second thought? One woman who understood this deeply was Anne Harper. She was a writer who became famous at 92, not because she was constantly socializing, but because she spent years carefully protecting her space and focusing on what truly mattered. When she was younger, she used to attend endless social gatherings, feeling obligated to please everyone. But one day, after an exhausting dinner party, she asked herself, why am I doing this? Who am I really benefiting? That was the moment she decided to take control of her time. Anne started setting boundaries. She stopped attending events that didn't add value to her life. She surrounded herself with a small, meaningful group of friends who genuinely cared about her. And guess what? She felt freer, happier, and more at peace than ever before. That's the magic of being intentional about your relationships. Now let's get practical. How do you know which relationships to invest in and which ones to step away from? Here are a few signs of relationships that might not be worth your energy. 1. The constant complainer. This is the person who finds a problem for every solution. No matter how good things are, they will always focus on the negative. And over time, that negativity will rub off on you. 2. The one-sided friend. You know the type. They only call when they need something, but the second you need support, they're nowhere to be found. 3. The energy vampire. You feel drained every time you talk to them. They dominate conversations, rarely listen, and make everything about them. So what do you do if you recognize someone like this in your life? Here's the truth. Letting go of relationships doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't need to announce a friendship breakup on social media. Sometimes, it's as simple as creating distance. Stop being the first to reach out. Spend less time engaging in conversations that leave you feeling empty. And most importantly, start filling that space with the right kind of people. People who encourage you. People who inspire you. People who bring peace into your life instead of stress. One of my favorite stories about this comes from the famous scientist Marie Curie. When she and her husband were newly married, they only had 2 chairs in their home. A friend once asked why they didn't buy more for guests. Marie responded, "If we have more chairs, people will visit, and we'll spend our time entertaining instead of working." Now, I'm not saying you need to get rid of all your furniture, but there's a lesson here. Protecting your time and energy isn't selfish, it's necessary. So let me ask you, who in your life brings you peace? And who brings you stress? Take a moment to reflect on that. Because at the end of the day, the relationships you nurture will shape the life you live. And remember, it's okay to walk away from what no longer serves you. It's one of the most powerful acts of self-care you can do. Because when you free yourself from the wrong people, you make room for the right ones. And that changes everything. The key is balance. You don't have to isolate yourself, but you do need to be selective. Not every person who walks into your life deserves a seat at your table. Think of it like tending a garden. You remove the weeds so the flowers can grow. When you focus your energy on the right people, life becomes lighter, more meaningful, and full of genuine joy. The key is balance. You don't have to isolate yourself, but you do need to be selective. Not every person who walks into your life deserves a seat at your table. Think of it like tending a garden. You remove the weeds so the flowers can grow. When you focus your energy on the right people, life becomes lighter, more meaningful, and full of genuine joy. The key is balance. You don't have to isolate yourself, but you do need to be selective. Not every person who walks into your life deserves a seat at your table. Think of it like tending a garden. You remove the weeds so the flowers can grow. When you focus your energy on the right people, life becomes lighter, more meaningful, and full of genuine joy. The key is balance. You don't have to isolate yourself, but you do need to be selective. Not every person who walks into your life deserves a seat at your table. Think of it like tending a garden. You remove the weeds so the flowers can grow. When you focus your energy on the right people, life becomes lighter, more meaningful, and full of genuine joy. Let's talk about something truly powerful, simplicity. In a world that constantly tells us we need more stuff, more success, more approval, what if the real key to happiness is actually less? Think about it. How much time do we spend chasing things that don't really matter? How often do we clutter our lives physically and emotionally with things that only add stress? Now, I'm not saying you need to throw out all your belongings and live in a tiny house, unless that's your thing. But there's something incredibly freeing about choosing to live with intention. Take Eleanor Adams, for example. She wasn't a millionaire. She didn't live in a huge house or own luxury cars. But anyone who met her would tell you, she was one of the most fulfilled people they'd ever known. Her secret? She focused only on what truly brought her joy. Her home was small but warm. Every item she owned had meaning. Instead of chasing after every new trend, she built a life filled with books, music, meaningful conversations, and quiet moments of gratitude. And you know what? She was happy. Really happy. Because the truth is, when you stop trying to impress others and start living for yourself, life gets a whole lot lighter. So, how can we embrace simplicity in a world that constantly pushes us to do the opposite? Here are 3 simple but life-changing habits. 1. Declutter your space, declutter your mind. Ever notice how a messy room makes you feel overwhelmed? The same goes for life. The less clutter, both physical and emotional, the more peace you create. 2. Learn to say no. You don't have to accept every invitation, every request, or every expectation society throws at you. Protect your time like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. 3. Find joy in the little things. The happiest people aren't the ones who have the most, they're the ones who appreciate the most. A morning cup of coffee, a walk outside, a good conversation. These are the things that make life beautiful. Now let's get real. Letting go isn't always easy. We hold on to things, people, and habits because they feel familiar. Sometimes we even attach our identity to them. But here's a question. What if letting go is the very thing that sets you free? Think about it. How many things in your life are actually bringing you joy? How many things are just weighing you down? Marie Kondo, the organizing expert, always asks, does this spark joy? That's a question worth asking. Not just about your belongings, but about everything in your life. One woman who embodied this idea was Evelyn Parker. She once said, women should be like wildflowers, beautiful, resilient, and free, not weighed down by excess. Evelyn understood that true elegance comes from simplicity, not extravagance. And she's right. The most effortlessly captivating women are the ones who have let go of the unnecessary. They don't waste energy on things that don't serve them. They don't chase after what society says they should want. Instead, they live with clarity, with intention, with purpose. So let me ask you, what could you let go of today? What's taking up space in your life that isn't adding value? Because at the end of the day, simplicity isn't about having less. It's about making room for more peace, more joy, more of what truly matters. And trust me, when you start living this way, you won't just feel lighter, you'll feel truly deeply free. The key to a fulfilled life isn't in the number of things you own or the number of people you impress. It's in the moments of peace you create for yourself. When you stop measuring success by external standards and start valuing the small, everyday joys, everything shifts. Life becomes clearer, lighter, and full of meaning. The key to a fulfilled life isn't in the number of things you own or the number of people you impress. It's in the moments of peace you create for yourself. When you stop measuring success by external standards and start valuing the small, everyday joys, everything shifts. Life becomes clearer, lighter, and full of meaning. The key to a fulfilled life isn't in the number of things you own or the number of people you impress. It's in the moments of peace you create for yourself. When you stop measuring success by external standards and start valuing the small, everyday joys, everything shifts. Life becomes clearer, lighter, and full of meaning. The key to a fulfilled life isn't in the number of things you own or the number of people you impress. It's in the moments of peace you create for yourself. When you stop measuring success by external standards and start valuing the small, everyday joys, everything shifts. Life becomes clearer, lighter, and full of meaning. The key to a fulfilled life isn't in the number of things you own or the number of people you impress. It's in the moments of peace you create for yourself. When you stop measuring success by external standards and start valuing the small, everyday joys, everything shifts. Life becomes clearer, lighter, and full of meaning. The key to a fulfilled life isn't in the number of things you own or the number of people you impress. It's in the moments of peace you create for yourself. When you stop measuring success by external standards and start valuing the small, everyday joys, everything shifts. Life becomes clearer, lighter, and full of meaning. Life has a way of testing us in ways we never expected. Just when we think we have it all figured out, something happens that shakes us to the core. Maybe it's a betrayal, a loss, or a truth we never saw coming. But in those moments, we face a choice. Do we let it break us, or do we find a way to grow? I want to share a story that changed the way I see love, trust, and what truly matters in life. A woman, let's call her Sarah, thought she had everything she ever wanted. A stable life, a loving husband, and a future that seemed secure. But one day, in the most unexpected way, she found out her husband had been keeping a secret from her. Not just any secret, he had a daughter from a past relationship, a child she never knew existed. Imagine what that must have felt like. The shock, the betrayal, the questions swirling in her mind. How could the man she trusted most keep something so huge from her? What else had he hidden? And most importantly, what was she supposed to do now? At first, Sarah was furious, and who wouldn't be? Her world had just been turned upside down. But as time passed, and the initial anger settled, she found herself standing at a crossroads. She could let this destroy her marriage, or she could try to understand. That's when she made a decision that most people wouldn't. She chose to meet the little girl. She wanted to look into the child's eyes, to see the innocent life caught in the middle of a secret that wasn't her fault. And when she did, everything changed. This little girl wasn't just a reminder of the past. She was a human being, a child who needed love, security, and a sense of belonging. Sarah realized that her anger wasn't towards the child. It was towards the situation, towards the broken trust. And instead of running away, she chose to open her heart. It wasn't easy. There were long nights of questioning whether she was making the right decision. There were difficult conversations, moments of doubt, and times she wanted to walk away. But as she spent more time with the child, she saw something incredible happening. She was healing. Not just the child, not just her husband, but herself. See, life has a funny way of forcing us to confront what we're really made of. It's easy to love when everything is perfect. It's easy to be kind when there's no challenge. But true love, true strength, it shows up in the hardest moments. Sarah's story isn't just about marriage, it's about life. It's about learning that sometimes the things that hurt us the most are the very things that help us grow the deepest. So let me ask you, what challenges have shaped you? What unexpected truths have forced you to look at yourself in a new way? Because here's the thing, life will never be perfect. People will disappoint us, circumstances will change. But at the end of the day, we always have a choice. We can let hardships make us bitter, or we can let them make us wiser, stronger, and more compassionate. Sarah didn't just accept the situation, she transformed it. She turned pain into understanding. She took a moment of betrayal and turned it into an opportunity to build something even stronger. And that's the kind of wisdom that comes not from books, not from advice, but from truly living. So next time life throws you a curveball, remember this. Every challenge carries a lesson. Every disappointment is a teacher. And sometimes, the hardest roads lead to the most beautiful destinations. Growth doesn't happen in the easy times. It happens when we are tested, when we are pushed, when we are forced to dig deep and discover what we are really made of. So embrace the challenges, face the truth, and trust that on the other side of every hardship is a stronger, wiser, more resilient version of you. Growth doesn't happen in the easy times. It happens when we are tested, when we are pushed, when we are forced to dig deep and discover what we are really made of. So embrace the challenges, face the truth, and trust that on the other side of every hardship is a stronger, wiser, more resilient version of you. Growth doesn't happen in the easy times. It happens when we are tested, when we are pushed, when we are forced to dig deep and discover what we are really made of. So embrace the challenges, face the truth, and trust that on the other side of every hardship is a stronger, wiser, more resilient version of you. Growth doesn't happen in the easy times. It happens when we are tested, when we are pushed, when we are forced to dig deep and discover what we are really made of. So embrace the challenges, face the truth, and trust that on the other side of every hardship is a stronger, wiser, more resilient version of you. Growth doesn't happen in the easy times. It happens when we are tested, when we are pushed, when we are forced to dig deep and discover what we are made of. So embrace the challenges, face the truth, and trust that on the other side of every hardship is a stronger, wiser, more resilient version of you. So we've talked about a lot today: inner beauty, protecting your energy, simplifying your life, and facing challenges with strength. But now, let's bring it all together. Here's the truth. Life isn't about how many people approve of you. It's not about how flawless you look or how many friends you have. At the end of the day, what really matters is how you feel about yourself, the peace you create, and the impact you leave on the people who truly matter. Think about it. Who do you admire the most? Is it the person with the perfect Instagram life? Or is it the one who carries themselves with wisdom, grace, and quiet confidence? The happiest, most magnetic women are the ones who know who they are. They don't chase trends. They don't waste energy on meaningless interactions. They don't clutter their lives with unnecessary stress. Instead, they focus on what truly brings them joy, fulfillment, and purpose. And that's what I want for you. So, here's my challenge. Take a moment today and ask yourself, what can I let go of? What's weighing me down? And most importantly, how can I start living for myself, not for the approval of others? If today's video spoke to you, let me know in the comments. Share your thoughts, your experiences, and your own journey toward a life of simplicity, strength, and inner peace. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another conversation like this. Remember, your energy is precious. Protect it. Your life is yours. Own it. The journey to self-acceptance doesn't happen overnight, but every small step counts. Choosing peace over chaos, choosing authenticity over validation, these are the things that build a life of true fulfillment. So take that first step today and trust that you are exactly where you need to be. So here we are. We've talked about inner beauty, choosing the right relationships, living simply, and finding wisdom in life's hardest moments. But now, I want to ask you something. What are you going to do with all of this? Because here's the truth. None of this matters if we don't apply it. It's easy to listen, to nod along, to feel inspired for a moment. But real change, that happens when we decide to take action. So let's make this real. Let's talk about what this actually looks like in your life. If you've been feeling drained by social obligations that don't bring you joy, maybe it's time to set some boundaries. Maybe it's time to stop saying yes to things that don't serve you. Maybe it's time to protect your energy like it's the most valuable thing you own. Because it is. If you've been caught up in the cycle of chasing external validation, whether it's through appearances, achievements, or approval from others, maybe this is your wake-up call. Maybe it's time to start asking, what do I actually want, instead of what will make others like me? And if you've been carrying pain, whether it's from a broken relationship, a betrayal, or just the weight of life itself, maybe today's the day you decide to release it. Not because it was okay, not because it didn't hurt, but because you deserve peace more than you deserve to carry that burden. Life isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about making small, intentional choices every day that move you closer to the person you want to become. So here's what I want you to do. Right now, think of one thing, just one, that you're going to take away from this. One habit you're going to change. One mindset shift you're going to make. One thing that a year from now you'll look back on and say, that was the moment everything started to change. And then, if you feel like sharing, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what resonated with you the most. Because when we share, when we speak our truth, we inspire others to do the same. And if this video meant something to you, if it gave you even one small piece of wisdom or clarity, do me a favor. Like it, share it, and subscribe. Not just for me, but for someone out there who might need to hear this too. Because at the end of the day, we're all on this journey together. And the more we lift each other up, the more we all rise. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And most importantly, thank you for choosing to grow. I'll see you in the next one.